Hey Magnify, thanks for joining me today to review the New City Catechism questions and answers. I hope you're all doing well, and if you haven't seen the past videos, they're available online on our website. This week, we're looking at question 4, so follow along and read aloud the question and answer with me. How and why did God create us? God created us male and female in His own image to glorify Him. We as Christians believe that God created the world and everything in it. But many people in our world today have a hard time believing that. So instead, they believe that the world was naturally developed and evolved over a long period of time into the way that it is today. But I want to read a short passage for us in Genesis chapter 1, where we're told that God created the world. So listen and follow along with this. This is so important for us. Starting in verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him. Male and female He created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish and the birds, and every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. And God saw everything that He had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. The Bible clearly tells us a couple very important things in this passage. First, it tells us that we're created by God as male and female. There's a lot of confusion in our world today about gender, but we believe that God intentionally made us this way, male and female, different from one another in how we're made and what we're called to, but still equal in His eyes as His creation and as His children. Second, it tells us that we're created in His image. What does that mean? This doesn't mean that we're physically made to look like Him, because obviously we all look different. Rather, it means that we reflect God's character in our lives. And so we bear God's image in our creativity, because God Himself is creative, and we see that in creation, and in our ability to be creative and think in that way. We bear God's image in our communication, as God is a God who speaks to us, and so we too are able to speak and communicate with one another. We also bear God's image in our relationships. God demonstrates His perfect relationship with Himself in the Trinity, as we talked about last week, and so we also are made to be in relationship with God and with others around us. And last, we bear God's image in our love. God Himself is love, and God has loved us first. And so He calls us to love Him and love others. And so from Him we learn how to love God and love others. Last thing in this passage, that in Genesis, it tells us that we're to fill the earth and subdue it. In other words, He's calling us to do the work that He has already done in creation. We're to be like Him as His image bearers. How amazing is that? And by doing the work that we're called to do, whether that's being a student or a good daughter or a son, being a doctor or a grocery clerk or a parent or a bank teller or any sort of work that you can think of, in all of that, God is glorified because we are being His image by demonstrating our creativity, our communication, our relationships, and our love for others and for God. In those ways, we magnify God's glory. And so how and why did God create us? He created us to be male and female in His own image to glorify God. Let that be a reminder of who you are as God's creation. Let that reminder encourage you to be faithful to what He has called you to today. Even now, as you're at home, you're able to do this. You can be a diligent student in your studies at home. You can be an obedient child as you're with your parents all the time. You can be a loving sibling to the siblings around you. In all those ways and so much more, we can be God's image bearers and glorify God in what we do. So I hope that that's helpful for you. Please try to continue to memorize these questions and answers as they're a helpful language and a helpful tool for us. And if you do have it memorized, please contact me. Reach out with a video, call me, FaceTime me, send me a video, and if you're able to do it, I'll write your name down and put you down for an extra piece of candy for the next time we can get together for Magnify. I hope that's soon. I hope that that's coming, but it looks like we're here in our quarantine in our homes for a little bit longer. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. And I hope to see you guys soon.